Welcome back to the channel. My name's Big John. This video, I want to talk to you a little bit about routines. Routines are not a bad thing. Checklists are a great thing. You know, if you've ever went hunting or you ever went to a competition, I remember one time I went to shoot an IDPA match and I grabbed the wrong range bag. I grabbed my wife's instead of mine. Thank goodness we both shot 45s, so the ammunition was the same. I used her muffs. I had a couple spare mags for my, it's IDPA, you're using your carry gear anyway, so I already had my holster, my mag pouch, spare mags, and thank goodness, we were shooting the same ammo. But if you've ever driven to a competition and you forgot something, I remember I went one time, I was, I don't know if I was still in high school. No, I was out of high school because I had a Tennessee Mountain Rifle from Dixie Gunworks, 50 caliber. I took my graduation money and bought it. And I went to muzzleloading match, and it was percussion. I forgot my caps. I felt like an idiot. I got everything I need. I got powder, patches, balls, got it all, but I don't have a percussion cap to set it off with, and had to borrow it. So from then on, I made me a checklist to make sure I had all my gear. When I shot high power, I had a checklist, make sure I got all my gear. So routines in themselves are not a bad thing. Get up every morning, you do your PT. I know I harp on that all the time. Your daily Bible reading, your quiet time, where you meditate in prayer, supplication with your Lord and Savior. These, I don't want it to be habitual in one sense, especially the prayer, the supplication. But by the same token, should be something that's comes natural to us, and it doesn't have to be first thing in the morning, if you want to do it before you go to bed, but have that where every day I'm getting this done, I and I don't have it in front of me. I should have got it. I apologize. Uh, I I did a thing at the church a few weeks ago, and it was on killing giants. What is your giant? Well, I'm looking at one of mine right now. It's a phone. How much time do we waste on our phones? And I read a study of, now this is church going, I'm assuming Christian teenagers that, I apologize. I should have looked this up. It was amazing. Let's say they were Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night at church. So you got 45 minutes for Sunday school, 30, 45 minutes for preaching, not counting the worship service, the song service. You've got 30, 45 minutes preaching on Sunday night, 30, 45 minutes preaching on Wednesday nights. But then they told how many hours a week our teenagers spent on TikTok. It blew church activity slap out of the water. I mean, it wasn't even close. How much time do we waste? How much time do I waste on YouTube playing solitaire? Lord, I made a mistake one time of looking up, I've got a solitaire game on my phone. I love playing solitaire. Been playing solitaire since I was a little kid. Dad taught me how. Me and him used to play double hand solitaire, And of course now I don't even have to shuffle the cards. I just hit new game and here we go. And I had days, literally days of time. Now I've been doing it for a long time, but still, days of playing solitaire. Now, when I'm at the Bema seat, when I'm at the judgment seat of Christ, not the great white throne judgment, but, but I'm giving an account, not for my salvation, but for my works. I'm going to be slap embarrassed by the Bible. Paul talks about redeeming the time. Have I been a good steward? The Bible talks about tithing. Do we look at that from a monetary standpoint? In the Old Testament it was 10%, and so whether that's Old Testament, we're under grace, we're not under the law, blah blah blah. I'm not getting into all that. But do we tithe our time? is 10% of our time given to spiritual. Now, let's say that you're an atheist, or at least an agnostic. Okay? If you want to be wrong, that's your business. If you want to bust hell wide open, hey, that's your business. I disagree with you. I wish you'd come around. I wish you'd talk to me about it. But how much time do you waste that you could spend learning something, learning a new skill, learning a foreign language, working better in the garden, having a bigger garden? But we spend that time, on Facebook, YouTube. Good stuff on Facebook and YouTube. A bunch of dadgum junk too. Some of it ain't fit for human consumption. But we're still doing this. Hey, and I'm not talking down to you. I'm just as guilty as you are. And our poor kids, they say that it's a dopamine dump. It's almost like cocaine. It's we develop a dependence on it. And we basically go through DTs if we don't have it. So routines can be good, routines can be bad. What I want to talk to you today about is routines in regard, and I know I got long-winded again on stuff that doesn't matter, but routines can also be dangerous. We're creatures of habit. When you look at your day-to-day life, how easy is it to pattern it? They say the majority of us leave the same time every day to go to work within 10 minutes one way or the other. So let's say you go to work at 6:30 in the morning. You leave on average, most of the time, between say 6:20 and 6:40. How hard would it be to pattern you if I wanted to do you harm? An assassination attempt, a kidnapping, a robbery. If I know you're going to leave the house at the same within 20 minutes, sometimes even, and I'll be honest, I'm closer than that. I'll be within 3 or 4 minutes each way. If you know that you come to my house and at 6:45 in the evening, you're going to hear the garage door go up and I'm coming out, how hard is it to pattern? How many times do you take a different route going to work? Now, I'm a little better about this because I just like going different ways. I like seeing different, maybe there's an old car or something, on the side of the road or whatever, Most people tend to drive the same route day in, day out, going and coming. They go to work one way, they come back the exact same way. Rogers Rangers, one of his standing orders is you never come back the way you went out. You set yourself up for ambush. And so let's look at it. Let's make our life more interesting. Make it harder for people to pattern us. If you're patterning my family, you know that most of the time, Sunday mornings from 9 o'clock to say 1 o'clock, we're at church. Then we're back at church from say 4:30 to 6:30, and then 6 o'clock to 7:30 on Wednesday nights. It's not hard to pattern. Melinda works Monday through Friday. She has a 8 to 4, 4:45, I think's her job. So she leaves roughly the same time every day. I do 3 12s a week. I do 12-hour shifts, but I'm leaving roughly the same time every day. Let's goose it up a little bit. Let's make it a little harder for them. On our routes, do we go the same way each time? Are there multiple ways we can go? You remember I've talked about PACE before, primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. What if there's been a wreck, tree down, you name it. They're paving 40, well, I guess they're still paving 43, ain't been over there lately, but they were paving 43 from north side up to the county line, the Fayette County line. So I may want to go to church a different way. They're talking about replacing the bridge over North River. Well, that's our main way of getting to church. Lord knows how long that'll take once they get started, so we need a different way of getting to church. So are we going to go through Berry, through Bowley Springs, and come down that way? How are we going to go? Where are our funnel points? Where do you have to go? You fellas that deer hunt, you especially bow hunters, you've got a bedding area here, you've got a feeding area here, and you've got a route of deer move back and forth, and maybe there's a narrow spot where they've got cover, or for whatever reason, but you know if you've got an area this big that they could be in there anywhere, that's difficult to bow hunt because you're talking 30 yards for a shot. Well, if you can see 200, well, yeah, you may see the deer, you may see the biggest buck ever walked, but if he's 50 yards from you, well, I still might take a shot because I do practice a lot. But let's say he's 150 yards. Well, I can't take that shot because I know darn good well I ain't going to hit him. Or worse than that, I'd hit him and wound him, and lose him. But if I got a narrow place that I know he's got to come through, and I can sit on it, and I can be at my 30 yards where I'm not right on top of him, hopefully not spooking him, but he's within bow range. That fatal funnel. You work in Tuscaloosa, but you live on the north side area. You got to cross the river somewhere. Or is there 4 bridges? There's the toll bridge, there's 69, 82, and then the one out between Riceman Road and East River Road, Jack Warner Parkway now. You got 4 bridges you got to get across. Me, if I'm going to Tuscaloosa, depending on which way I go, if I go down 43, I'm going to cross the lake at Benyon Creek. If I go down 69, I'm going to cross the lake on the other side of, well, goodness, I just went blank. Before we get to Mitt-Larry, Tierce Patton, between Tierce Patton and Mitt-Larry, I'm going to cross the bridge there. That's a fatal funnel. I don't have a choice. I have to cross that bridge if I'm going from point A to point B. So let's look at our routes. Do we have fatal funnels? Can we work around our fatal funnels? If we can't work around them, does our situational awareness go up a notch because I'm in an area that I don't have a lot of options? Okay, you pull up to a stoplight and you're pulling up to the car behind you. Do you pull all the way up to the other person's bumper, or do you do what I try to do and back off where you can see their back tires touch the ground? Because if I can see their back tires touching the ground, I've got room to maneuver provided I'm not blocked in on both sides. So if it's a carjacking, yeah, I may be crossing the median, I may be going down the wrong way, but I've got room to maneuver. But if I'm pulled all the way up and my front bumper is kissing his ball jack on the back of his pickup and some dude comes up, ain't nowhere for me to go. Drive-throughs, terrible places. I know they're convenient. Sometimes you ain't got a choice, but you can only go one direction. Most times, the driver's side, there's a building there. Well, we ain't going that way. Most of the time, we're bumper to bumper because we're coming up, we're paying at the first window, getting our food at the second window. Well, the way we can go is to the right, but if we're so close up, I can't maneuver that direction in the vehicle. I can't even get out my door. I might get out the window depending on how close I am, but I'm going to have to go across the seat to get out. Well, I'm heading in the direction the thread is. You see what I'm saying? So let's break up our routine a little bit. Sometimes leave the house, just make a couple of rounds. If you live in a subdivision, go up the road 1/8 of a mile, turn around, come right back. Anything just to make it different. Park your cars in different places. Leave at different times. Now, coming back is not as big a deal because my understanding of what I've been taught is there's more apt to be a time difference coming home from work because, well, did you stop at Winn-Dixie or Publix or Walmart or wherever? Did you work over? But it's that leaving in the morning. Again, I've got security cameras that I need to put up that I haven't done yet. Did you look at your security cameras before you open the garage doors? Are there vehicles sitting out there that don't belong? Now for me, where we live, if a vehicle's sitting out there, I guarantee you it don't belong because my nearest neighbor's a mile away. So it would be very simpler for me to notice that. But what if there's 3 guys across the road in the woods and it's this time of year where the foliage is up and they know when that door comes up, I'm coming out. Well, I'm coming it's a fatal phone because I'm going from the garage to the car, or I'm backing out in the car if I parked in the garage, you know. So let's break up our routine. Routines in themselves aren't a bad thing, but they can be dangerous. They can be life threatening. Okay, that's all I got. Again, I got long winded. Comments, questions, criticism, witticism, let me know. I can help you. Holler at me. Uh, Again, if this information you find it useful, I ask you to spread it down the road. Uh, we're doing YouTube and Rumble now. I'm putting them up on both of them. I had a request to do YouTube, even though they're still demonetized. I'm not making anything off of it. I'm not wanting to make anything. I just want to get the information out. But I just hate the YouTube. You may have to put up with commercials as well as putting up with me, and that bothers me. But some people said, hey, we want YouTube, we don't want Rumble. So they'll be in both uh, apps or sites, depending on how you want to do it. So yeah, until next time, hope you have a great day, and we'll catch you on the next video. Thank you very much.